Anyway, honorable mentions. Let's do it. I don't know how people do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Bomku, suck my dick. Not gonna lie. Goku, go ahead and ride that Nimbus off to hell. Fuck off. Alright, so today we're gonna be making a top 10 tier list for Dragon Ball Legends. Right before Legends Fest starts, I gotta shovel this in right before it starts because Legends Fest is about to be fucking bombaclut crazy. It's about to drop some crazy motherfucking units that you're just gonna wreck probably almost everybody here. Besides, like, you know, Zamasu, of course, because I don't know what they put in that guy's plat, but it's just genuine drugs. But anyway, we're gonna go from 10 to 1, right? I got 12 God ranks in this game. I know what I'm talking about. I think that gives me a little bit of a, you know, respectable value. No, it really doesn't. But anyway, starting with 10, you're gonna look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm just gonna shovel it in your mouth and you're gonna eat it. Pause. 10, we have Ultra Frieza. I'll keep it simple. The stats are overwhelming this guy, right? If you have a decent team of anybody who's in like the top 5 list, you'll see scenarios when Frieza's taking too much damage. Even on Triple Ultra teams, with how wonky the team builds are, right? Go against a unit like, you know, L of Zamasu, or of course Ultra Zamasu exists now. He's purple and that's really bad for fucking Frieza. He's taking a lot of damage. So despite having a damage guard he does, and despite having endurance, sometimes it just doesn't cut it. And you know, some units, again, I'm not gonna glaze, you know, they nullify health restore. So there's instances where you can fuck up Frieza because they think they're gonna get health back from the endurance pop, but they literally get 0 health restore. And you take their health down to 0 the first time, it stays at 1, and then you just tap them out, game. Know what I'm saying? On top of that, his offenses are starting to become a little more tolerable, right? Frieza's main thing, right, before when he first dropped, right, was that 1, there was no purple units that existed, right? To tank his death beams or stop his long ass combos, and then 2, excuse me, sorry, what am I trying to say? 2, he was just overwhelming everybody with his overwhelming stats, you know what I'm saying? So like the death beam itself, despite being constant and a quick attack and everything else it does, it was just doing a lot of fucking damage. But now there's units at this point who just swap in with, in terms of who's in a meta right now, hella units that just swap in and get health. They just swap in, you know, swap in. Frieza's death beaming, ooh, and then they're like, yawn, just swap in, get my heal, you know what I'm saying? Ella Zamasu is taking that shit, Ultra Zamasu is taking that shit, other units are taking that shit. It's just not a big problem anymore, you know what I'm saying? And last thing I gotta say is his team build sucks. He's a leader slot merchant, and at this point we can't really have that anymore. Like, we gotta be able to Zenkai buff our units and not be able to fuck up the other units on the team by giving them Zenkai buffs. And it's kind of hard to put Frieza on the core right now because Pio is just overwhelmed by better units than him who, you know, utilize better, you know what I'm saying? All have their roles, and Frieza's just trying to play that attack role still, but it's like, yeah, your damage ain't cutting it, and when you get hit, you're fucked. So, I mean, that's pretty much the explanation for Frieza, you know what I'm saying? Now, number 8, I do have Future Gohan. And before you bat eyes at me, I like Future Gohan. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of dissed him at first, but my main qualm with this guy is still going to be that the fact that the element null doesn't come until, until you lose an ally, right? And, I guess it's also catered by the fact that there's certain teams I just can't picture him on. Like, his team flexibility would be a little less, in my opinion. Now, he does have, like, the overall support, which is great, right? But, like, outside of the future team, you know, you will start seeing a little bit of, like, you know, fall off in terms of, like, his sustainability, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the best thing for him is the fact that he's on the future team and LF Zamasu exists, again, Ultra Zamasu exists. And there's other units you can squeeze him in with, you know, like Android 13 if you want to run like a double support team or some shit. Gohan has endurance, you know, 13 has revival, blah, blah, blah. Gohan gets cards as he comes in. He can provide himself some pretty lengthy combos. He's yellow for Ultra Zamasu, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like most of the times you're not seeing damage from this guy, right? Honestly. He can get good damage off, but you're not going to go to Future Gohan to get that damage, you know what I'm saying? And his defenses are a little bit on the mediocre end for me when I'm playing him. Like, I have him 14 stars, and sometimes I feel like his defense is like, eh, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I got the right equips, I got the right team build, blah, blah, blah. But future team existing does glaze this guy hella, because, you know, anybody that exists on a team with Future right now, they just get stonks, they get value. You know what I'm saying? Mostly Zamasu to 2 Zamasus. Anybody that exists in a team with those Zamasus just get a lot of aura. So, yeah, that's it for future Gohan, you know what I'm saying? I'm not dissing the guy. But if anything, I would do an 8/9 with this unit who I'm about to pit here. And don't look at me like I'm crazy. The 7th anniversary units are I got a call from my dad mid-recording. 8, I have Ultra Namek Goku. Right? Like I said, stats overwhelming these motherfuckers. There's 2 red units in particularly that, you know by name, that fuck this guy up in terms of, taking damage, right? But what he offers to the team is the KO guard, right? And the KO guard is just always going to be a crazy mechanic until Namek Goku gets bad enough to the point where he just gets one shot. Like he would have to be that bad, so paper thin, for the KO guard to be seen as something useless. On top of that, he offers the other things, you know what I'm saying? He has the lock-in again. Most consistent lock-in in the game. It's just pretty stupid at times. If Android 13 or LF Zamasu is not on the team, you'll find that being an issue. You'll find that being annoying. Toppled on the fact that he eventually gets element node from the lock-in, and then he gets endurance node from the lock-in. If those were a little faster, maybe I'd have him higher, but they come soon enough. The games last long enough for him to see those lock-ins. Now, there are scenarios where Android 13 exists, right? And he gets the lock-in, he can't rush, he can't pop main. That could be a problem. Ultra Zamasu exists, he gets the lock-in, and then I think you can't press strike or blast. That becomes a problem. But Ultra Zamasu's, lock-in is temporary in comparison to Android 13. So like I said, a Namek Goku team of KO guard, it lasts a long time. So once you burn through those Ultra Zamasu's lock-ins, right? That's going to be a problem for Ultra Zamasu. So if Namek Goku isn't dead by the time he gets past those 2 lock-ins, now you have a unit who can just lock in Ultra Zamasu, take him out. Again, go back to locking in other units and taking them out, etc, etc. And these other units just amplify him by the fact they have survivability too. So it's less of a worry of them dying too quick, right? Sometimes you won't even have the KO guard active by the time you get past those 2 lock-ins or whatever, blah, blah, blah. AoE green card, he does a lot of damage. Blue card hits like a motherfucking monster truck. Main just strips all your ki away, makes you naked. Just fucking sitting there, naked and afraid. You can't do anything, with that. But I think sometimes units get to a point where their value is better if they offer things to other people, right? Like you can have scenarios where your damage falls off and your defense falls off, right? But if you have something that's crazy enough to give, like, the type of value to your team that makes it last until 0 timer counts every time, then, you gotta have some props here still. So he's not a slouch himself. There's scenarios where you can get fucked, but the scenarios where you can get around it. Lock-in is a mechanic built to get around shit like red units coming to stop your combos. He has that. What can you say? Now, number 7, you might call me crazy. We are pitting this ugly-ass green fucking lizard Tambourine at number 7. Alright? Now, you listen to me before we go here, right? I was perplexed by the fact that, this guy was good, and I didn't understand until somebody told me. That somebody being Dugoat. Everybody knows Dugoat. But, the way Dugoat broke it down to me, right, I'm going to break it down to you guys. So picture Ultra Zamasu and then LF Zamasu, right? LF Zamasu is that damage dealer. Like, he can cut and cut and cut and cut and cut and cut and cut, which is some of the reasons why, Namek Goku has to be down here because he takes too much damage. And then Ultra Frieza, again, LF Zamasu could put this guy, like, in a body bag. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's a lot of people with sustainability or endurance or like, KO guard or whatever, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people on this tier list I have right now have endurance or some type of sustainability or some type of constant disrupt or some type of constant healing. And sometimes you need a unit to just chop that down. Before LF Zamasu, right, that unit for me was Ultra Super Saiyan for Vegeta. That gave Ultra Super Saiyan for Vegeta value to me because I'm like, a lot of these motherfuckers are tanking and I'm tired of it. These triple Ultra teams. And ironically, one of the best ways to fight the Triple Ultra team was Super Saiyan for Vegeta. So picture Tambourine in that framework. He is able to do that with the S tier boost he has on Dragon Ball. Absolutely able to do that. If you put a type neutral nigga in this guy's face, he is shredding the fuck out of them. And it's just true. You can't deny it. He's serving his purpose. He's serving his role. And he has his Ultra Zamasu variant, which is LF Kid Goku, to provide him that consistent safety. You know what I'm saying? So DB Goku has, you know, great disrupts. You know what I'm saying? He's healing all the time. He heals from pretty much everything you could think of. He heals from the unique age. He heals from coming in or entry. Obviously, he heals from his main. I think he heals on green cards. You know, has vanish. You know, restoration. DB team is just constantly floating and floating and floating and surviving combos. A team capable of going all the way to timers just based off the fact that they have so much sustainability. Kid Goku is indestructible. He can come in anytime the enemy Rising Rush with his new unique equipment. That allows Tambourine to just stay alive. What can I say? A unit who can hit as hard as LF Zamasu, staying alive the entire time, guaranteed safety by his team. How can I not pit this guy somewhere this high? Because that gives you a lot of value. A lot of times you need to kill these people before timers go to 0, and DB team, because of Tambourine, is able to do that consistently if you have him on the team. Now hold on one second. Alright, my dad just hit me with 2 disrupts. Like, fuck! How many disrupts does this motherfucker have? Alright, anyway, number 6 is going to be MUI Goku. We all know MUI Goku's back, right? Ultra Frieza kind of diminished, you know what I'm saying? There's a lesser green to see. One thing I forgot to mention about Tambourine is that he's rare to see, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't really make this tier list based off rarity, but just, you know. So that's where he's here, because of his value. But he is rare to see, so it's rare that you're going to run into a Tambourine, you know what I'm saying? Only green unit you could possibly run into that's common, or, you know, not so common anymore, be Ultra Frieza. And since he's out the way, this motherfucker's just type neutral and everything. So he's just out there evading consistently, getting his gauge back from every single thing he does, doing insane damage in short bursts, which is good, because you want to do that with the disrupts that exist. So the long combo thing kind of doesn't work unless you have, you know, gimmicks to get past it. So sometimes the best answer is just to do, like, insane damage in one setting. Blue card just, especially in transformation state, hits hard, gets out the way. I do have 2 red units up here who in certain scenarios he can really bully and massacre and, you know, just get really good, you know, fucking hits off on. On top of that, he just works well with a lot of setups that are, you know, common right now. Mainly, again, Zamasu, you know what I'm saying? He works well with Zamasu. If you work well with Zamasu, you know, just tugging each other, you know, stroking each other off, just get a lot of value. You know, so I have Future Gohan here. But I don't think there's much to explain about UI Goku. Some of these games, even in recent times, are just based off who gets more damage by the end of the game. If somebody's not touching you for, you know, a good, let's say, accumulated 50 seconds to stretch it, just because of UI Goku, then that's kind of crazy. And as you're trying to touch him, he's also getting that damage off on you. Sure, it can't kill you, but if you're neutral, it's going to do a lot of damage, and then it's going to add up to the end damage at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? So, him being able to evade, and also, one thing I gotta point out, is that when he's in MUI, if he couldn't do this, I wouldn't have him here. I probably wouldn't have him top 10 at all. But in MUI, he could sustain for himself very great. I'm sure there's games where you're like, finally I caught UI Goku, but it's like, damn, I can't kill him, you know what I'm saying? 1, because he has endurance, and then 2, is because, I think 1, he heals when you press a blue card, or if you ult, or if you press a card like that, he does heal. And then 2, I'm trying to remember here. I know he cancels buffs as well. Trying to think, wait, does he cancel buffs, UI Goku? No, he doesn't. Take that out my mouth. Sorry. 2, he has the arts cost raise. Sorry. At this point, I feel like more units have card protection than arts cost raise immunity, right? So it's like, you know, when you have so much units that have card protection, sometimes only answers to raise their arts cost to like damn near 50. And UI Goku can do that. So he's sustaining himself, he's tanking, he's getting damage on a short burst, he's blue, doesn't have trouble with any greens of, you know, complete relevancy. And, I don't think there's much more to say about that, you know what I'm saying? Now, number 5, I ain't gonna lie, I shat on this kid initially. I didn't see the potential, but I see the potential now. So, remember what I said about Tambourine being L of Zamasu, and then this, you know, Kid Goku being Ultra Zamasu. His plat made him able to fully utilize his stats. On top of all of his allies on DB being on S tier boost, DB, honestly, second hardest team to kill next to L of Zamasu. Sometimes harder to kill than an L of Zamasu team, depending on the scenario. But the team is just constantly healing. Like I said, Goku heals when he comes in, heals on his main, heals on his unique gauge, heals on green cards, has indestructible, you know, gets his vanish restore back, He has really good combos, especially once he gets his gauge active. He has card protection, gets cover null off that. You know what I'm saying? Gets key. This nigga can keep a combo going for a long amount of time. So a lot of these games, what you'll see with DB, I'm sure you'll agree with me, is that their method would be to just vanish as much as they can, because you have Vanish Restore. You have units like, I guess, Blue Roshi, for example, just to throw out a unit like that, who can, fucking get their, who can stop the combo with their green card. You have the Green Goku who exists, who can just get his Vanish back multiple times, and just a whole bunch of things to just stall. If they get caught, then, they just tank the shit. You just swap in between every DB unit, and they're just healing as they're swapping in between each other. They have super low sub counts, so think of like Daima with the sub count. You know what I'm saying? They just have super low sub counts. So it's like you don't have to worry about sub counts. Like I said, when the rush happens, DB Kid Goku, he's always ready to come out. He has Indestructible. There's nothing you can do to bypass Indestructible at this point. You know what I'm saying? You gotta wait till it finishes. You gotta stop the combo. You can't kill him. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Destroys your entire hand, which is good. And especially with the fact that the combo update exists now. Back then, Indestructible was something you could kind of like bully, because you could just keep comboing through it, keep comboing through it, ultimately making a unit have to swap into somebody else. But now with the combo update that forces your units to stay locked out for a certain amount of time, if you combo too long, now Indestructible is more of a usable mechanic. Like, I have this video on my channel. It's the highest viewed video in my short section, where when Omega existed, or LF Omega Shenron existed, right? He had Indestructible, but there was no combo update yet. So there was a match where I was just comboing Omega. I'm like, okay, you know what? If you don't want to swap out Omega, if Omega's not going to die, I'm just going to sit here and combo farm, get damage up on you, and I combo that nigga for like 100 counts. My highest viewed YouTube short, I think. But Kid Goku lives in a time when that doesn't exist for him. So on top of that, when you pop, an ultimate, or I think it's a rush as well, he locks you in, you know what I'm saying, for 5 counts, which can be extremely detrimental. So you add those 5 counts, right, to the sub counts that your unit's already locked out for. That makes it to where you can see your unit locked down for like 15 seconds, or even, you know what I'm saying? If your unit's locked down for 10 seconds and you ult Kid Goku at the end of the combo, or you rush him at the end of the combo, sure, that rush can land, but 1, he is Indestructible, right? And then 2, now all your motherfucking friends, they're locked out for 15 seconds, you know what I'm saying? 5 seconds plus whatever is there already. And he also debuffs that ultimate, damage by 50%. So he's just able to keep himself afloat, you know what I'm saying? I'm surprised he's doing so good with LF Zamasu, but he is, I can't deny it. And of course, Ultra Zamasu does fear this guy, because he can't really break a dent in him, but Kid Goku can absolutely break a dent to Ultra Zamasu. So, know what I'm saying? Once DB Saga goes of S tier boost, I'm sure his value will diminish. But for any reason we get a new DB Saga unit, he's always going to be here waiting for them. Unless Fest just hard counters him completely, let's be honest. Alright, now number 4. I had this guy at number 3 on my last tier list, but I do have to pit him down. Simply because I forgot my reasoning. Hold on. Duh, I just remembered it. GT sucks! Like, fuck! Like, Jesus, I'm sorry. Like, it's just not the team it used to be. Is it usable? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that a GT team can't win against you. But as you're using that team, you're going to find scenarios where you're like, yeah, these other people I'm fighting have way more gimmicks than I do. This LF Zamasu, Ultra Zamasu team has way more gimmicks. This DB team has way more gimmicks. They're wearing me out. They're healing more than me. I just got rushed, fucking 40 seconds of the game. They're sitting there still tanking shit. They're about to get another rush, you know what I'm saying? If you're desperate enough to fight a Vegeta, and have complete leeway against him in his switch attack, you pull out Master Roshi. Master Roshi on S tier boost is a fucking phenomenal unit right now. Like, his counter is actually insane. Like, you get the counter, it's just it's an unstoppable counter. Pretty much the best counter in the game. There's no way around it, no way to avoid it. You're gonna have to get that counter off, because it's based off, a strike card or a blast card in your combo. He gets the blue card, he hits that, he's type neutral. If that hits Vegeta, you don't want that to hit Vegeta. If it hits Bomku, I've seen Bomku take like 40% damage just from one blue card from Roshi. Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku would be like the 3rd GT unit in the GT team. That nigga just don't cut it. Now, what Vegeta's value comes from is his damage. You know what I'm saying? Remember what I said before about like Tambourine and LF Zamasu? This unit, still has those, key moments where that switch attack is just ridiculous. Because he gets card protection, he gets neutral, the initial kick off the switch attack, you can't get out the way of it, so you can snipe people off it. You know what I'm saying? You can spam with that shit while you have card protection, and then while he has his gauge, you know, which you have to, you know, get the switch attack, he can just spam, because as he presses the gauge, he produces new cards. You know what I'm saying? So you're just spamming insane neutral damage buildup on people. So, you know, most likely you'll run Vegeta on like a double Zenkai buff team, or even one, you know, one Zenkai buff is enough. Like, for the most part, he's able to shred through everybody here like no problem. And there's instances, of course, when people like LF Zamasu exist who have like disrupts, you know what I'm saying? You'll pop his disrupt with another unit, and despite your cards and ki being gone, Vegeta comes into the field and produces a fucking 10 combo string combo, despite you just popping a disrupt and, you know, LF Zamasu. So Vegeta's mere presence, right, gives units who have disrupts, you know, a lot of value, because at some point you're gonna be like, hey, I need more than one unit to have a disrupt for Vegeta on my team. You know, so like the top 3 that I have over here on this, you know, my top 3 units all have like a disrupt. So it's like, if Vegeta gets through me, he has to get through me too, he has to get through me too, he has to get through me too. But if those units didn't exist, Vegeta's value would skyrocket. Fuck, if LF Zamasu didn't exist, I would almost say I think Ultra Vegeta is better than Ultra Zamasu, simply for the fact that he could just fucking switch attack, 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 switch attack. I'm telling you, the only way I was able to beat the triple Ultra team was the fact that, you know, Vegeta was able to just shred the damage rate, you know what I'm saying? But on top of that, he has cancel buffs, he has endurance, he has to, you know, he seals your card as you hit him. He does another effect too, but it's just a really good constant disrupt that he has. His main takes away 3 Dragon Balls, which honestly is more beneficial than the ultimate from the main landing itself, because taking 3 Dragon Balls away from people is actually insane. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of these games go to timers. If you strip somebody of their Rising Rush, that's great. You know what I'm saying? He's also able to hold the combos long enough, so if your goal is to go to timers, Vegeta will stall, get that combo off. You know, it's gonna be a long time to get out of that. But my issue is, if you look at the list right now, right? There's no GT units here. So Vegeta's so good that he can fit better than Frieza, you know what I'm saying? Mainly because he's a Saiyan and he can make shit work. But the main issue is that his GT counterparts just suck mega donkey cock. So like, for example, you know, GT Bamku, he's good, but he's kind of just like an iron wall at this point. There's a lot of instances where his damage just isn't cutting it, and he's just relying too much on Vegeta to do damage. Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku, I fucking hate this guy. I'm not sure why he's even honorable mentions. This guy gets hit too hard. Fuck that. I don't want to talk about that guy. He's dog shit. Anyway, top 3. Again, I had Vegeta at 3 at first. Well, my last tier list, but now it's just going to be 13. I don't know what to say about this guy, besides the fact that he just has so much consistency, right? He's always sealing blast cards. I'm sure there's instances where you're fighting Android 13, right? And you have a blast hand, and, you know, you run out of ki, you swap out to another unit to continue using those blast cards, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot that he seals blast cards even when I swap to another unit. So even when you swap to another unit, blast cards get sealed. It's anytime he's met with a new opponent, blast cards are sealed. You know what I'm saying? Has the best disrupt in the game. It's pretty good to just stop a combo early, you know what I'm saying? Get yourself set. And also a great opener in the opponent, as it takes, you know, all their ki, destroys their fucking hand completely, and seals their main. So for any characters that like the combo extend with their main, right? If 13 just seals that, you know, just completely gaps the combo. On top of that, he's a great support unit. Generally one of the easiest support units to use. All you gotta do is use like 3 cards, you know what I'm saying? He has good draw speed. His green card is really good. It provides him a card for himself, so you can extend, get that support gauge active. You swap, support gauge is active, and then, you know, your fucking ally comes in with boosted damage, ki, and then a set of cards. So units that already get cards on entry, you know, let's say somebody gets 2 cards at entry. 13, now he has 4 cards at entry with damage boost, with ki, you know what I'm saying? So like, one of 13's best instances for me is against LF Zamasu, right? Not only because he's blue, right? Blue gives him value because of Vegeta. Shut off the blast cards from Vegeta. Just be blue to tank Zamasu, blah, blah, blah. But one of 13's best moments is when you use that support gauge to get through Zamasu's disrupt. So for example, if Zamasu has a disrupt, right? And you're hitting with 13, you pop Zamasu's, you know, fucking gauge, right? Now you have, of course, 0 key, 0 cards, because Zamasu popped that. Now once you swap into that unit, right, that you have on standby, they just straight go through the disrupt. So God forbid that's a unit like Ultra Super Saiyan for Vegeta already. Even somebody like Ultra Super Saiyan for Vegeta is getting value from 13 damage-wise. So they just come out on fucking steroids. So he's able to just pit any unit at their absolute peak, you know, in their absolute best. And just it's just such a fun unit and easy unit to utilize. It's just too good. And then of course he has the revival. He just comes back with higher stats. He has blast armor now. I forgot to mention that if he hits a green card on a Goku unit, he locks him in for 3 seconds, which can give you a lot of value. Just a good unit, you know what I'm saying? He's not the easiest unit to get rid of. You can stick around and just constantly have the support ready for the team. And in an instance, if you're running Ultra Zamasu and you kill Ultra Zamasu first, him and L of Zamasu are just going to be really hard to kill. Because L of Zamasu is going to be popping that gauge. Every time 13 comes out, all blast cards sealed every time. And then, of course, like I mentioned about Namek Goku before, you cannot lock in snipe with Namek Goku since 13 exists. Because, you know, 13's always sealing Rising Rush and main ability every time you lock in. So that's just a problem for units with lock-in mechanics. So it just gives 13 value. Also, on top of the fact, I forgot to mention that 13 does seal green cards for like the beginning of the game for like 15 seconds, which makes it to where Namek Goku can start with AoE green cards, but that's whatever. Okay. Now, I don't think this is anything new to anybody, right? Like, what come on. What has changed with these two? Well, what has changed with these two? Best team in the game is Android 13, Ultra Zamasu, and L of Zamasu, right? And then Ultra Zamasu, you know what I'm saying? He's healing. His defenses are kind of poor, I'll be honest. Which is the reason why I have to have L of Zamasu higher. His solo utility and defenses are kind of poor. But he does have a consistent disrupt for himself that resets every time he swaps out. You know what I'm saying? He heals over 50%, but every time you get him under 50%, he has a disrupt. So you can constantly swap him out, and that disrupt's always going to be ready because he's going to heal over 50% again. Hit him under 50%, bam, blah, blah, blah. And even if he's not over 50%, if you come back and he's at 40% health, as long as you brought him back out, the disrupt is going to pop. You know, once he gets hit, he's going to destroy cards. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he has the Beast Gohan Rising Rush block and, you know, the Ultimate block, etc., etc. You know, the sealing, you know, Namek Goku's Strike card and Blast cards can be useful to other units, as well as himself, of course, because sealing somebody's entire hand is crazy. Making a unit like that useless, you know, damage-wise at certain points can be crazy. His damage is great, especially when he goes neutral and he procs his gauge. His damage can be great. Like, I've seen scenarios where he one-shot, you know, Ultra Namek Goku because he doesn't have council buffs. You know what I'm saying? So his ultimate hits hard, his blue card hits hard. I love his green card. He gets card protection of it, and he draws himself a strike card, which is great, especially for people like Android 13. You know what I'm saying? Since he seals blast cards, blah, blah, blah. The 5% feint, if that lands, could be a little problematic. Although with the combo update, feints are a little bit overrated. It would still be a problem if, you know, Zamasu, for example, feinted that one unit you didn't want to get Rising Rushed. And then he locks you in with that feint, and then, you know, gets the Rising Rush. And of course, the thing is, when he dies, he gets the AoE damage, paralyzes the whole team, you know, poisons the whole team. Just, you know, being paralyzed, I think it's for 15 seconds or something, right? Is pretty detrimental when his ally is L of Zamasu, because you don't want a unit that hits as hard as L of Zamasu to catch you, because if he catches you, it's over. This guy hits very fucking hard. He's just at his peak from, you know, start to finish. And now L of Zamasu, I don't know what type of cocaine methamphetamine these motherfuckers were smoking when they made this unit, but he's just everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. They were just stroking this nigga off as they're making his kit. Like, yes, Zamasu, we want more from you. We want more from you. Just stroke it, stroke it, stroke it, stroke it. You know what I'm saying? Good damage. Great. Okay, let's be honest. Phenomenal damage. One of the highest, probably the strongest unit in the game in terms of hitting one strike card and taking like 50% of your health. Sorry, I'm sick of talking about this guy. Insane defense, you know, for his new unique equipment. His gauge is constant, you know what I'm saying? It never goes away, never changes. So he's always healing off his gauge. When his gauge activates, he's sealing your main, he's sealing your rush. He's healing off the gauge once it procs, right? His green card, which, you know, he gets a green card from his fucking kit, destroys one of your Dragon Balls, destroys your green cards, right? And then he heals them basically back to full health. If you're on the attack gauge, his green card gives him Vanish back, so he also has Vanish Restore. On top of being able not to kill him when you catch him, he also has the ability to get out the way of your hits completely with his Vanish Restore. He also heals on that green card too, but a little less. If he's hitting a yellow unit, they're getting fucked, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just dead, swat the fly away, you know what I'm saying? Blue card, that hits a type neutral unit, that's doing a lot of damage. Blue card can paralyze. Ultimate does AoE damage. That does a lot of damage. If that AoE damage hits a yellow unit, right, then your entire team is fucked. Which is one of the reasons why I have Future Gohan a little lower, because I don't like the fact that he doesn't get the neutral, right? He doesn't have cancel buffs. So if that ultimate hits Gohan, and, you know, potentially kills Gohan as it is, you know what I'm saying? Entire team is taking extra damage because Gohan is yellow and type disadvantage. On top of the fact that for some reason, right, with the unique equipments, if you get cover null on your unique equipment, certain things you can bypass. So for example, Ultra Zamasu cannot counter L of Zamasu if he's on standby, you know what I'm saying? So let's say L of Zamasu's hitting Mui Goku, right? And, you know, let's say Mui Goku's out of endurance or whatever. L of Zamasu rushes on entry, you know what I'm saying? He can go right through Ultra Zamasu's gauge. You know what I'm saying? Ultra Zamasu could try to swap out an L of Zamasu. The gauge won't proc, which means the rush landed. So just having that is just fucking insane, because I don't think any other unit here on this top 10 list has that, to where they could just come out and be like, hey, you know what, fuck Ultra Zamasu, you know what I'm saying? I'm rushing you. And you could just go through Ultra Zamasu. So it's like, this guy's an unkillable, this guy's an unkillable raid boss, and until they do something about it with a blue unit on Fest, I just don't see how they can break him down. So either they're gonna make a Synchro Gauge blue Super Gogeta to take him down, or maybe like a Super Saiyan to Gohan to take him down. But again, raid boss, unkillable, insane damage. He does everything. Like, there's probably stuff I didn't name. He gets covered on the entry, gets covered on his gauge, always has cover null. Fuck this guy. Like, fuck this guy, genuinely. Anyway, honorable mentions! Let's do it! I don't know how people do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Bombku, suck my dick. Not gonna lie. Gamma's Ankala. Yeah, sorry. Alright. I'm gonna keep Roshi honorable mentions. I think having the ability to just stop combos without anybody being able to bypass it is great, especially for a team that's able to stall as efficiently as it is and just win through damage inflicted. Having Roshi stop your combos can be extremely detrimental in games, and he does it up to 3 times. All he has to do is pop a green card, which he supplies himself, you know what I'm saying? That's great. Goku, go ahead and ride that Nimbus off the hill. Fuck off. Goku and Gohan, well, just Gohan, I'm sorry. Manga Gohan is great. His lock-in is very efficient. He gets really good burst damage off real quick before you swap into another unit. You have 3 free seconds to, you know, come in and, you know, just spam on a unit. And he gets blast cards on entry, and he gets a card as he presses a card. On top of the fact that he gives support to the DB team and to hybrid allies, which is going to give him, like, future value if they ever drop a hybrid unit, because he can definitely come with that other hybrid unit. His defense is pretty good, you know what I'm saying? He gets gauge restore through pressing his cards, you know what I'm saying? Green card is really good, supplies him a lot of cards. His ultimate hits pretty hard. I'm pretty sure his ultimate also has the Namek Goku effect, to where it just takes all of your ki away, so you can use that to just, you know, debilitize anybody in front of you and just make them have nothing to press because they have no ki. So he's just a really good support unit that gets good damage off. That lock-in for 3 seconds can be really good. You can use it to either rush somebody, or you can use it to either just spam on somebody, especially a yellow unit. So it's like it's just mini Super Saiyan for Vegeta, really. Got that singular moment you could just spam and they can't get out the way of it. So I like this unit. Ultra Super Vegeta, I ain't gonna lie. Favorite fusion, suck my cock though. I ain't gonna lie, not good enough. But that's it. That's my list. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully y'all like it. If y'all don't like it, then yeah. I'll see you on the next one. Get ready for Legends Fest, because it's going to be a lot of changes here. Ultra Frieza and Namek Goku, not going to be here anymore, I promise you. But anyway, till next time, y'all. Peace out. Anyway, sorry, summary. God damn. L of Zamasu number 1, Ultra Zamasu number 2, Android 13 number 3, Ultra Super Saiyan for Vegeta number 4, LF Kid Goku number 5, 6 Mui Goku, 7 Tambourine, 8 Namek Goku, 9 Future Gohan, 10 Ultra Frieza. Finally. Got sick of this guy. And honorable mentions, Master Roshi and then Manga Gohan. Peace. Also, if you fuckers are wondering why I don't have Bojack on the list, it's because he sucks. He's not even making honorable mentions. I'm sick of seeing clips. Every time I see a clip of this motherfucker, right? It's the awakened arts doing a lot of damage. All right, now what, nigga? Every time I see a clip, tell me I'm wrong. Every time you see a clip, awakened arts, he transforms. Transforms. All right, now what? All right, suck my dick. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Get the fuck out of here.